I've been having a lot of fun with it ever since it came out, and you know, as you can see, I found myself a couple of mains. I think this character is great. I think that Rocket's great, and I think I might go and pick up Wolverine. Everything about the game feels right, but also, there are people out there that do decide to cheese. And by cheese, I mean use the most overpowered thing to their advantage, which again is fine. But when their overpowered thing stops working, they feel bad about it, which is kind of crazy because again, they're the ones that decided to go above and beyond and cheese. But then again, they're trying to have fun, just like the rest of us. Not everything is perfect to everything, which is why I call this early Overwatch. Because they struck the best balance possible where every character has their own viability and playstyle. And on the top of all that, they feel canon to how they actually are in the books in some capacity. And to me, that's a beautiful thing. Not a lot of games do that. If it were up to a lot of people, they would choose to like have one ability or two abilities and then limit it to what they could actually do. Like Spider-Man has his spider sense, he has his web shooters, he has his web slinging, web flying, he has a double jump, a wall crawl. Like that's Spider-Man. Like that's not like a iteration of him where he just run all over the place. He actually is Spider-Man. He can do all of his Spider-Man things in the game, which again, beautiful thing. One day they might decide to give us the ability to make custom levels. The web slinging levels would go insane. Heck, who knows? Maybe we could have, yeah, we're gonna have mission based like PVE. That's gonna be fire. Either way, though, I want to know what you guys think about this game so far, because I'm just one person, of course. I can't really speak for everybody. The gameplay in the back is probably trash, but hey, I like this character. And no, not for the gooning, but actually because I like sniping. I'm not perfect. I'm not the best. Ever since I mentioned playing this character, I've seen a lot more Black Widows on my Shorts for You page, and they pop off. I feel like the difference is though they're on a controller. I mean, I'm on controller and they're on keyboard and mouse. And even then, it's still possible to do good on a controller, as you can clearly see. But it's a different ball game. The problem is I'm playing controller on PC, and a lot of people don't like that. I mean, I get that there's a huge difference when it comes to controller and keyboard and mouse players, but even still, with all that in mind, I think that we should all be appreciative that we can even play together in the first place. Kind of sucks that we can't play competitive together though. I understand that, but I feel like I feel like they should detect input for the game like X Define did, where it'd be like, oh, you're in a controller lobby, well, you better play with controller, you better not try to switch over to keyboard and mouse. But I feel like that's a whole other problem and can of worms that they don't want to fix by themselves. Because they know, and I know, that if they go on ahead and do that, then they're basically screwing themselves out of less work, which is to deny keyboard and mouse players and controller players from having unfair advantages over each other. I personally wouldn't mind, but at the same time, I'm not playing competitive in the first place to do anything besides get a skin. I mean, I like I like how they have quick play and competitive completely separate from one another and not overbearingly stressful, because when it comes to competitive, everybody plays it, everyone wants to flaunt how they're the best, and it's like, dude, even if that is the case, I'm not really bothered too much by it. You could be the best one above all, but it's like, dude, which character do you use the most? That's your identity right there. this is who you identify as when you play this game. If it's a mixture, then I applaud you in the highest extent, because again, it's pretty fun to play a variety of characters. Right now, I'm just sticking with a couple and slowly but surely branching out. I liked Rocket because of the fact that he was one of the few healers that had a gun. And Rocket seemed pretty cool. I looked at his abilities. I'm like, oh, still has beacon armor packs. I didn't realize it could like allow you to revive, and jetpack dashing and the wall crawling and the gliding. I was like, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this character because he is a lot of fun, but he's also very mobile. He's not stuck. I prefer my characters to be able to move rather than be in one place at once. And his heals are insanely good, to a lot of people's surprise. His whole ability is to just shoot healing orbs all over the place, and they bounce a lot. And a lot of times, a lot of people think, oh, that's kind of lame in comparison to everybody else's, which is way more complex. Like Cloak and Dagger, she has to throw like daggers at people to heal them. She has a healing wall and a healing like area of effect, healing bomb, and then there's a Dagger. There's Cloak who he does damage, which is a fair amount, and not a lot of people think he does, but he was recommended to be played in Doom Match, the free-for-all mode. And when you do that, you will see why he was recommended for that mode. He has an evasion move. He has a debuff wall. He has a hit scan attack. And you have to hit a fine balance between these two characters. They're also one of the few characters that can actually heal themselves. Again, I just think that there's a lot going on in this game. I just hope that it stays this way. Again, that's why I call myself early Overwatch, because I know that it can't last forever. And if it lasts for a long time, I'll be happy with it. A lot of people keep calling for buffs and nerfs. I don't think Spider-Man needs a nerf. I just think that that's why he's a 5-star character to use, because people don't know the balance that you need in order to do what Spider-Man does. He's not a bully all the enemies type of guy. He is an assassin character. He hits you with a tracer round, then hits you with his uppercut, or just beat you down. And then when everything's said and done, he leaves. That's his whole thing. I wish a lot of people saw that, but they don't usually. Then there's Black Panther, which again, I thought he needed a buff when I was playing him, but that's because I didn't know how he worked. He solely is a guy that takes pride and power in his marking, that you could get from his whirlwind dash and his spears. And it does an absurd amount of damage, and it gives you high mobility, and it's chaotic. You need to find the balance with that, and it's like an infinite combo if you could figure it out. And in my opinion, that takes skill. At first, I was annoyed because, for the most part, I've never seen a halfway decent Black Panther, even though they're doing what they're supposed to, which is darting for the back line and then just shredding through them with no reserves for their own safety. It works surprisingly well, because you can't really expect a healer to defend themselves from a DPS like that. And if his health gets lower, he gets more damage. Yeah, see, it's cooked already at that point. Wolverine, a lot of people still think he needs a buff, but the people that don't think he needs a buff are the tanks. The issue is with Wolverine is that it's hard to play Berserker with him than it is anybody else, because he doesn't have the range or like the auto lock on like somebody like Iron Fist does. And Iron Fist has way better defensive capabilities than Wolverine does, which is crazy because again, even though Wolverine isn't magical like Iron Fist is, I feel like Wolverine is like he's way infinitely more durable than he is for sure. Like the skeleton and then the health regeneration. I just think that they need to give him on top of the passive thing. I just think they need to give him health regen just in general. It will incentivize people to take him out quicker, and it will make sense lore wise. They're like, oh, why is Wolverine so hard to kill? I'm like, he is supposed to be hard to kill. That was the whole point. He sustains an absurd large amount of damage, then he's cooked. Or they could do what they did with Iron Fist and let him like home in on his enemies for attack. Which again, I don't like the idea that somebody could be in the sky and most of the time it's somebody else that has to take him out. Wolverine though, I feel like if he does take somebody out of the sky with his dive ability, they're pretty much just dead on the spot. Unless there's a group of healers. But that usually is the case if you're not diving at them at a good spot. That means that they have to have better positioning than you do. Iron Man? No, I feel like he isn't as strong as a lot of people says he is. He has area and effect attack that he rains from above in the sky. But it doesn't feel like it's absurdly impressive when it comes to me playing Black Widow. I just think it's a lot more people not looking up and people bunching up together while he attacks. And on top of all that, a lot of people want to play these absurd high damage characters, but never a character that has range. So when he shows up, they feel really annoyed because they're like, how do we deal with this? I get it though. I get it. Everybody's aim is potato, but you gotta figure out how to aim first. I'm just hoping that this game could stay casual in some capacity, because that's why the game is living. I don't care what anybody else says. The competitive scene is part of it, but it should be like a part where you should be able to appease the competitive players, not full on make them feel amazing and happy about it. Why? Because they're really passionate and strict about how they feel about a game, rather than being way more open-minded than other players are. Because I get it, it's their livelihood, it's their job, but you gotta realize if people aren't playing your game, then you're not gonna make money. If you're not making money, then there's a huge chance that these giant pools of money for these tournaments aren't going to be nearly as big as they could be. And also, again, eventually you guys are going to have like team cosmetics, because I know that they're trying to go down a similar path as Overwatch, which again, I wasn't there for early Overwatch. I just heard great things about it. But I got there in time for Overwatch 2 because it was a free-to-play game at that point. And I was not happy at all. I just felt like, man, this isn't so bad. I could see the joy in this game. I could see the fun in this game. And then after a while, I'm like, it's not really that great. It could use a lot of tweaking, a lot of things that I wish could change. And then after like a lot of time, I kind of felt like I was wasting my time because I wasn't really working towards anything. I didn't buy the battle passes because not only were none of my favorite characters in use, even though some of them look cool, I didn't have the time or energy to grind them nearly as much. I decided that nah, it's not worth it. What about the weekly like quests that give you free gold? People said you have to work like 8 months of playing the game non-stop in order to get a cosmetic. You do all the weekly quests to get all the gold. I'm like, I don't want to wait that long. And usually my favorite outfits arrive and then vanish in the blink of an eye, and they don't come back. There was a time where a skin came into a shop, and I'm like, dude, can I buy that? And that never ended up happening because I'm like, dude, that's too much money, or I didn't have enough time. I don't think I had a job when I was playing Overwatch back then, so I really, really didn't want to contribute anything to that. Quite a shame too. Quite a shame too. Marvel Rivals, they've done most of the things that I think they should do right, and I feel like they're gonna continue to like do that thing. But like a lot of people say, there's some worrying, glaring things that make them not want to do this. Number one, it's owned by NetEase. We already have a lot of stuff going on here in America with the election and whatnot. Not to get too political, but Chinese games and a lot of other alternative countries being like limited and pressed for resources and things like that, just so there's a chance that Marvel Rivals could get banned. It's crazy to me because a lot of people are seeing that a lot of China owns a lot of different things as well. Like America is not just alone in this one. The issue is gamers need their games. A lot of people play games to de-stress and to relax, to escape. And by taking that away, you're taking away peace of mind. And with that peace of mind gone, it could get very bad very fast. Number two, consistency. Again, it goes back to NetEase again, because I played a game that they had owned ahead of time before this game came out, and the name of that game is Identity 5. The game's pretty straightforward for the most part. It's basically Dead by Daylight, but with extra steps. And it's a fun mobile game, has a lot of fun cosmetics, crossovers, game modes. They recently added in a user-generated like game mode, and a lot of people are playing it and making levels. The problem is again that the community, for the most part, is suffering from they're suffering from the fact that they aren't as happy as they once were, and the fact that a lot of the old school creators left the game because of how draining it is to play it. Even though the content switch up is way better, it's just that you gotta have infinitely thicker skin than you did back in the day in order to succeed playing this game. Even though I think that the game is fine in its current state. Kinda sucks because as someone that plays the game a lot, and somebody that actually tries to stream the game, by the way, stream it over on YouTube and Twitch. I mean, showing that probably. The game is fine in of itself. It has a lot of things that I wish they could fix, but then again, I'm only saying it from one perspective. I only play the survivor in that mode. I don't really play hunter. But yeah, the game feels like it has a lot of things that it could fix that we haven't really gotten to that point of trying. But still, it could be that the devs stopped caring about being the best at balancing and more so focused on making better cosmetics and making sure that the game can survive longer than it, like as long as it humanly possibly can. The game's a gacha game, a gambling game. So it's gonna make them an absurd amount of money because a lot of people like to spend money on the cosmetics. I have spent money on the game. I'm not too proud of it because there's a lot of times where I was sad, dude. No game was hitting the same. All the cool stuff in that game that I wanted was limited. The whole reason why I got into it was Persona 5, and I got nothing from the crossover when I first started. And I would have been happy if I did. Just one character, one outfit, I would have been happy. And that never happened. Then it came around the second time. And this time I made sure that I got every character that I wanted. Awakened with their Phantom Thief outfit? Nah. But acquired? Yeah. I got them. I got all of them that I wanted. despite all that, I think that NetEase needs to focus on making the game better rather than just farming it for money. Because people will spend money if they enjoy a game. I enjoyed Identity 5 and I enjoy Marvel Rivals, so I spent. But now I'm at a point where I don't know how much I want to even spend anymore on the games, because though I do want to be a content creator and, get involved with these games, I don't think I entirely want to commit to that until a company or brand has committed to me. I'm a very straightforward guy. I've been working at this for years, even though it doesn't look like that, based on my subscriber count and how often I post and go live. But trust me, I want this way more than other people. Not even just for the money, but because I actually enjoy doing it whenever I do it. Not to ramble on more about other things like content creation, because I do this all the time. I feel like a lot of content creators that are big or are getting big by gaming the system, I feel bad for them because some of them don't actually like making content. They actually just want to make the money that comes with it, which is pretty crazy and pretty sad. If you find yourself as a content creator not enjoying what you do, but it pays the bills, maybe it depends on how big you are, because of course that factors into everything. But if you don't make that nearly as much as everybody else does, like in the big league of content creation, and you're not, if you're not like a scumbag that takes people's money from harsh and unrealistic brand deals knowingly, gambling. Don't promote gambling. If you don't promote gambling and stuff like that, or horrible lies, and you take accountability for your actions, then if you're not making nearly as much money as you want and you're not happy making content, I suggest you stop. Because it's clear that it was only for the money, number one. Number two, if you have to contemplate doing something bad to make money, then I don't think you should be a content creator. A lot of the big content creators that I know didn't do too harsh or egregious of things, because obviously everybody understands, got to make your money somehow. But there are some that I don't know how they are still big, or how they're content creator, or how people watch them, knowing that they truly don't care about them deep down. Not even a little bit. And yet they exclaim that they have so much money and so much power. And it bothers me a little bit, because that's not something you want for anybody to watch and witness. As a kid, I avoided those content creators for a while. And then I started watching one, and it was fairly entertaining for the most part. Up until I realized, they just kind of, obviously they find a subject that they like, and then they post about it. But the stuff that I was there for was really specific, because it was super intriguing to me. It was something actually terrifying. And then they just stopped doing it altogether. And it kind of made me sad, because I wanted to know and I wanted to see just how far it would have went. And it didn't end up going down that way. Quite a shame too. That's why I stopped watching them all together. When it came to gaming content creators, not the fighting game ones, not the competitive ones, literally just the let's play ones, and the casual party game mode videos. Those guys are fire. And as I've gotten older, I've started to like video essays a lot more, because they emphasize somebody that genuinely goes above and beyond to care. But now now that's starting to get diluted with drama. This person's done. This person's finished. This person isn't gonna recover. This person is a crash out. This person is a trash can. And it's dude, if we really fiend for that much negativity, then maybe we shouldn't like allow those videos to be mass produced and spam. Because even the people that are aware of it, they're like, yeah, it's just to pay the bills, man. It's like, no. You don't realize how negatively you're impacting the creation of content, especially since I feel like it's more kids than adults on here, on this platform. And because of that, the kids are going to see this and then embody this, thinking that this is the right way to go about things. And it's not true. If a kid embodies a toxic videos, like a toxic content creator's mindset, just because they enjoy their video, that's going to spell major damage for a lot of people's mentality. Because now all of a sudden, people are angrier, they dislike people way more, they think that they're so perfect and so unproblematic in comparison to others. And I'm thinking of one particular content creator that just ruffles my feathers. I don't understand how and why. And then there's people that say, oh, but some of them are cool. I'm like, I don't like any of them. I like the ones that cover the news more than they actually cover just drama in general. I don't even like the news that much either, because it's always negative. Then there's a guy that makes positive content. That guy has my subscription, and I watch his videos all the time. I forget his name. I wish I could shout him out right now. But I only found him on TikTok, and I followed him or subscribed to him on YouTube. But, like, we need more of that. That's the sort of content creator you need to be following. The reason why social media is so bad for your mental is because you're letting it be bad for your mental by watching all this negative stuff. Watch something positive, something that makes you happy, please. I promise, it won't be that bad. I just came out here to make this video because I wanted to ramble about some stuff that has been on my mind. And I hope that you guys can relate in some capacity. Some of y'all might be asleep right now, which is fine. You know, get your rest. But at the end of the day, I still believe that with enough time and enough dedication, we could go back to the way things used to be. As a content creator, your goal is to entertain and have fun while doing it. And everything else is secondary. But yeah, that's just me, you know. You guys enjoy what you listen to or not, let me know by liking or disliking, comment. And if you want to see more from me, subscribe. I don't upload every day. I don't upload every week. But I try to go live, try to record videos, but again, that's up to you guys if you want what you want to see. I'm usually used to Let's Plays. I plan on uploading some skits sometime soon, whenever I have more courage to do so. But I still want to keep like some form of content and consistency on here because I am back in school. Kind of blows, but that's just life. But yeah, blaze, fan that flame, burn your dread, and stay hot. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.